There's a lot of anecdotal advice around on improving your marriage. But if you want something you can really use that will actually make a difference and reignite your marriage, check out the link in the description below.
The question, how do I forgive and stay married to my husband after he had an affair? Answer by Uma Ashani. Has your husband apologized to you and promised that he will not repeat it again? It is not necessary that you forgive him immediately. Give it time. This is not something simple that you can forgive easily. First, check the attitude of your husband. See whether he really repents his action and whether he is making amends. See whether he is taking an effort to rekindle your relationship. See whether he is ready to apologize again and again whenever you refer to that and get angry. You have every right to do so. Through it all, don't take everything at face value. Take effort to see whether the affair is continuing. Then and only then do you begin to relax and slowly forgive him. If there is no sign of his repentance, or if he flies off the handle when you mention it, and if he behaves as if it is your duty to show your love for him, just walk out. You deserve better. You deserve a person who is truthful and faithful to you. You deserve a person who respects you. All the best. Do message me personally if you need any help. P.S. The same issues I have discussed above will hold good for husbands who have been cheated on as well. Be your own sunshine and choose to be happy always. Answer by Next Govain. Is staying in a marriage after an affair stupid? By Ann Burt. Question, Dear Ann, the issue that has concerned me currently is the constant political talk on the news of late, about spouses who decide to stay or reconcile a marriage after an affair has been discovered, and calling those spouses stupid for doing so, without any acknowledgement of the many differences in each situation, or the capacity for healing and keeping families together. How do you approach these harsh and uninformed judgments many have to deal with? Try this. This is how I saved my marriage. Pete Manoy Medium. In my situation, the other woman was bound and determined to marry my husband. I don't blame her for the affair. I blame my husband, but in my case she was the pursuer in the affair relationship. She wanted my life. She was banking on the fact that as soon as my husband told me of the affair, I would be so mad that I would just throw him out, making it easy for her to take over my life. How could I consider myself to be intelligent, if after 18 years of marriage, I allow some other woman to waltz into my life and walk off with my husband, breaking up my family and taking my children's father away from them without taking the time to see if my husband would choose to learn from his mistake and become a better man? If I view myself as a woman who is worthy of deep love from a man, how can I not even be willing to give some time to my decision of whether or not I want to stay? If I'm a smart woman who respects myself and is capable of thinking for myself and making my own decisions, why should I allow those in society who have never walked in my shoes to dictate my life for me based on their own ignorance of the topic? The ability to forgive a spouse, heal a marriage and become a better, stronger person through the pain takes a smart, mature, and good person, and if you are lacking wisdom, strength and maturity, you can develop them through the process. One of the biggest rewards I earned for staying and working it out was the respect of our then teenagers. All of them came to us on separate occasions and in their own words said to my husband and myself, "You know what, Mom and Dad, most of our friends' parents are having the exact same problems as you and Dad have had, except they just give up, throw in the towel and quit. You and Dad worked out your problems. We really respect you for that." Of course, if he was continuing to have affairs and I stayed in the marriage, that would be different, but he has done everything any man could ever do, not only to make it up to me, but to become a better, stronger man himself and to ensure it never happens again. So also my husband made the biggest relationship mistake possible, for which he has paid a huge price and become a much better man as a result. Should I now just hand over the man I love to some other woman, now that he's paid the price in his learning experience? What would be smart about that? Is it smart to start over with some other loser who hasn't learned this lesson yet and have my heart broken again when I don't need to? How could I respect myself for that? A close relative of mine threw in the towel on her marriage in the emotion of the moment after discovering her spouse's affair. Time went on. They both remarried. 20 years have now passed. They are still in their second marriages, but they still talk to each other. My relative greatly regrets her decision. Both her and her first husband agree today that they love each other more than their current spouse, but confess because of making quick and emotional decisions in the heat of the moment without gaining proper perspective first, they are now stuck in marriages to second best. 20 years have passed and the initial trauma and emotions have subsided. My relative says, "I couldn't see it then, but we could worked it out and we both would been much happier. It was stupid to get divorced over the affair. I gave up what really matters to me in life, and I deeply regret making such an important decision in my life while I was on an emotional roller coaster. I say, how could my self-esteem be so low as to not be smart enough to stand up and fight for what I really want? How could my self-esteem be so low as to not be willing to grow into a better person and learn how to overcome major pain and learn how to build a better marriage? How could my self-esteem be so low as to be a quitter, without first giving my marriage at least a chance when I really love my husband? Being smart is not in the sting or in the going. It's in being self-controlled, willing to seek advice, and then making a wise choice for you based on the unique variables in your situation. Answer by Louis Woodhill. If you want to be happily married to your husband again, you need to get complete with him and your past with him, including his affair. Incompletions are composed of regrets, resentments, and undelivered communications. You extinguish a regret by asking for and receiving forgiveness from the person that you have wronged. You extinguish a resentment by forgiving the person that has wronged you. You extinguish an undelivered communication by delivering the communication. The first thing you need to do is to tell the truth about whether you truly want to forgive and be happily married to your husband. Right now, you get to be right to the world, including Quora, about how he wronged you. Are you sure that you want to give that up? To forgive is to give up the right to use the past to shape the present and the future. If you forgive your husband for his affair, you can never speak of it again to anyone. If it comes up in your thoughts, you need to immediately tell yourself, no, I forgave that. I'm not going there. To forgive is also, literally, to give as before. If you choose to forgive your husband, then you must be as loving and generous with him as you were before the affair. Affairs are tricky things. Are you sure that you had nothing to do with it, e.g., by failing to meet one or more of his needs? If, even unconsciously, you believe that you had some responsibility for what happened, you will have a regret, and that regret will prevent you from becoming complete. You will notice that getting agreement from the world that you are right and he is wrong will do nothing for your life, your happiness, or your marriage. Being right will keep you stuck where you are. The most satisfying way to resolve an incompletion is to find another point of view from which the event really was fine with you, just the way it was, and just the way it was not. One possibility in your situation might be, he just needed to get that out of his system. Another might be, we really need an open marriage, and his affair pointed the way. Or, perhaps, this upset brought us closer together. The important thing is that the new point of view be one that you consider valid, and that, when viewed from that point of view, the affair really was fine with you, just the way it was, and just the way it was not. It will be hard to find peace staying married to him unless you are able to do this somehow. Good luck.